Hello, hello, I'm Tracy Pierce. Thanks for joining me for this series of many animal communications. So towards the beginning of March, I guess it was maybe around the 10th or 11th when things started to kind of really get a bit more panicked and up in the air, like what the hell is happening here, started to happen around that time. And I was house sitting and I got this ping from my animal friends. Hey, we really want to share some wisdom with the world during this time. It feels like people are going to be going down into lockdown and really wanting me to share some wisdom with the world, connecting with the animals, giving them a voice to share what they would like to say. And so today I'm going to be talking with my kitty friend Fern. Pulling up her picture here. All right, so here is Miss Fern. And I've known Fern for quite a long time. I've only met her in person maybe once, but so Fern is a very old kitty, actually. I'm not exactly sure how old she is. She's somewhere between 17 and 19. And if you watched the video previously with Addison, telepathic communication with Addison, Fern has a very big connection with Addison. I know we did a Facebook Live with Addison a little while ago, and I think that I didn't actually record and post that one to my YouTube channel because the recording quality was really bad. But we're going to be talking to Addison a little bit more next week as well. And let's see. So if you're joining us live, I'm just scanning technology here. It looks like maybe I'm actually streaming live on Facebook. It says it couldn't do it, but maybe it is. So if you are watching on Facebook, I believe you should be able to type questions for Fern into the chat. I'm kind of checking here. But if you're joining me live on Zoom, you'll definitely be able to. If you are on Zoom, look at that on the bottom bar, there should be a chat button. And all you need to do is type your questions for Fern into the chat there. So let me pull up this Facebook here really quick and just make sure I'm not missing any comments from people. You know, I'm not actually sure we're live on Facebook. I'm kind of getting varied feedback, so we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna get quiet and start tuning into Fern. Yeah, so as I start to feel Fern, I also really feel her connection to her human Addison coming forward. Like I feel both of them in the space. And just a little bit of background for viewers. Fern and Addison actually live in separate places. Addison he's almost 19, I believe. And he lives in a children's hospital. He has cerebral palsy, but he did live at home for many years before that with Fern. Yeah, and she's showing me how she's really doing a lot of connecting above with Addison. Addison has connection to very, very high realms. Like his consciousness seems kind of really out of this world sometimes. And Fern's showing me how she's really needed to be in touch with Addison a lot during this time. Yeah, and also for our viewers, the hospital where Addison is living is on lockdown from right now, so his mom can't even get in to see him. It's just Addison with the staffing people, the nurse, the hospital staff. Yeah, and Fern's saying ever since that happened, she's had to really, like she's always held something very special for Addison, she says, but she's had to engage with him in a different way. Fern's showing how Addison's mom really holds something for Addison. And so what Fern is showing is like a lot of what Fern holds for Addison is this higher place, this more spiritual realm place that Fern's able to connect with. And then that Addison's mom does a really good job of holding Addison in a more down here kind of way. She's really aware of like physical needs and things that Addison has, and is able to connect with him. And even though Addison doesn't speak with words, that his mom and him are able to communicate even without words. Yeah, and Fern's saying that this is something too that she's holding for Addison's mom as well. So Fern lives with Addison's mom. Fern is really encouraging Addison's mom to go to this higher place and to meet Fern and Addison in this higher place. And Fern says, you definitely know how to do this. Don't worry, you know how to do this. The things have really shifted since, she's been not allowed back into the hospital again. Fern says she can really feel the worry that comes up in Addison's mom's energy. Is there something that you're doing to help Addison's mom at this time, or? She's showing how her purring is magical, is sort of what the impression that I get. She shows, so it's not really coming from her heart. Like it feels more, if we were to kind of look at the system of the cat the same as humans, it would be kind of in the middle, like where our human solar plexus is. It's kind of the same area that Fern is pointing to on herself. And she's like, this is where the purring comes from. And there's this vibration that comes out into the energy. I'm really trying to spread that particular vibration of the purring into the whole house. Fern shows it as, it's almost like the vibration of the purring kind of vibrates out some of the other more negative or on the lower vibration scale side of things, is what Fern says. Is there anything you want your humans that you're living with to know? Like, it feels like you already have a really strong communication link with Addison, and you don't need me to tell him anything for you. But I wonder about the other humans that you're living with. So Addison's brother, Addison's mom. Yeah, Fern, she's like, I'm here for you, whether you realize it or not. And I am going to keep doing this vibration thing in the house. So I see, pardon me, itchy nose. Yeah, but Fern, I was kind of like getting the impression of you like rubbing your fur against my nose or something. I was getting a little itchy. Yeah, wow, I don't know, this is interesting. I haven't had this itchiness come up, come like this. Fern, I'm not sure what you're trying to tell me. I mean, what I see is, like, I see the mom and the brother, maybe they can, like, if this is what they want to do, like rub their face in your fur or snuggle with you to help them feel better. Was there something else? I feel like maybe there's something I'm missing. Fern, can you help me understand a little better? I hear the words, don't do anything you don't want to. Like I kind of get the impression of like for me rubbing my face in a cat's fur, like I love cats, but that's really unappealing to me personally. Um, is that what you were trying to say, Fern? Or okay, Fern. I feel like Fern's kind of directing me like I need to connect with her a bit higher. So I'm just going to tune in a little bit deeper, going a little deeper with Fern. Yeah, I feel this real kind of vastness come into the space. I get this sense of Fern being like this sort of otherworldly being. Yeah, and she's showing how like in her household, it's not like the humans down here are so, I hear the word obsessed with her in the way that maybe some other pet owners may, like they always want to check on their animal, or they always need to be with them, or they're always concerned about them. Fern's showing how like in her household they have this kind of good separation where she's like, I'm not really expected to be cuddly and nice or anything like that, where maybe a typical cat might be expected of that. She says that the humans in my house really understand that I'm holding something higher, and that it's not always about interacting on the down here level. Yeah, and again, asking mom to meet Fern a bit higher. So I'm looking here, we might actually have Addison's mom on the line with us, although you may not have, looks like you might not have access to the chat box. Checking for any questions here, not seeing any. Fern, I wonder what your experience of this, the pandemic, the stuff with the coronavirus has been like, or do you have any messages for the greater world? What Fern is showing is that she's been really focused on her own humans. Like she said that it's not that I don't have a worldview, it's just that at this moment, that's not what is important to me. What's important to me is my humans, my people here, and in my house, and also Addison. And so, yeah, she says it's not that I don't care, but part of me doesn't care in some ways about the coronavirus. So, Fern, I guess I kind of understand what you're saying there. Um, I wonder if you have any messages for, the people in your house, or anything that you want to share. I really got the ping that you wanted to share some stuff with us. I wonder what else might be on your mind. It's kind of open forum for you, Fern. Okay, she's direct. Okay, looks like we just had something come through in the chat. It's funny how she sees those things. Um, so Fern, Kim wants to know, is it common for pets to have these sort of higher connections? I think what she means is like what you're talking about with Addison. She's like, I'm not sure I would use the word common, but she said there are a lot of human beings that, like our animals, when the animals come in, they have some kind of specific mission, or it's almost like a vow or a purpose. And a lot of times with that, she's showing how like we can have the connection down here, but we can also have the higher connection above. And a lot of what we're working with, it kind of depends. It just varies, like what the person needs in their own evolution. It might be they really need to work with them on a more down here kind of level. But in certain kinds of situations, you know, a lot of when people are going through spiritual development or things like this, that's often when the animals will have like a higher, this, you know, it really feels to me like a connection above the head, or like an agreement or a vow or something in the spiritual realms that's beyond this physical realm, is what she's showing. So yeah, she's saying it's not necessarily every single time, but it definitely can be. And these higher connections do play a different role. And it's not that, it's almost like the animal is holding an aspiration, if you will, that the human will at some point be able to connect with them in that higher way. And some of the humans, boom, they do it right away. But other humans, it takes time and working together for a while before they're able to feel that. So she's showing me, so there was this really special kitty who came to me, and what Fern is saying is, like, when I first saw that cat, like I knew that cat wanted to come live with me. And what Fern is showing is, you know, this was many years ago. This is probably almost 20 years ago. But like at that time in my life, I was very much living on a down here kind of level. And so it was, the cat had to connect with me on a down here kind of level first before we were able to meet up higher. Yeah, it's not really a one or the other. They can go together, but sometimes the mission just engages more above or more below kind of connection, depending on what has happened. Okay, one more question for you, Fern. Have you had other situations or relationships like this? And I think she means like with Addison. I hear no right away. Can you expand on that, Fern? Have you had the same connection with maybe Addison in a previous incarnation of his or something? Fern's saying no, they haven't worked together, that she and Addison have not worked together previously in another life, and that this connection with Addison is actually very unique along Fern, her own timeline, like her cycle of animal lives that she's been through. She's showing how this relationship with Addison is really a higher level connection than she's dealt with in previous incarnations. This is a very spiritual kind of connection for her. It was like, she shows like winning the jackpot, like pulling the lever on a slot machine and all the coins falling out. She felt like she really lucked out and hit the jackpot with scoring this connection to Addison for this life. She feels very honored to be holding this connection with Addison, like she understands how important it is, not only for Addison, but for the rest of Addison's family. Is there more there for me? I feel like that's good. She's wondering if anybody else has any questions. Oh, Fern. Well, thank you so much for your wisdom today, Fern. I see we're getting close to the end of our time. I wonder if there's anything else that you might want to share with our viewers, or anything I might have missed that you want to make sure gets through. She says, I'm really happy with my life right now. She's like, I realize I'm an old lady, like in cat year terms, but I don't really feel old. There's something about this connection with Addison that keeps her feeling young. And she's really hoping that that youthfulness kind of stays with her as long as Addison decides to stay with us here in the physical world. Yeah, she's showing, I feel her as this golden ball of light kind of shining out in all directions now. It's not quite pride. Pride almost has this a little bit negative connotation to it, but it's this shiningness, this bigness, this purity, that it's this really high level spiritual connection that she's holding. And she's like, I feel very honored to be in this life and holding this. It's been just truly amazing. And yeah, she feels like she's not close to being done with her work here. Thank you so much, Fern. Thanks for speaking with us today. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the picture. All right, so thank you so much to our viewers for joining us here today. As far as I can tell at this point in time, I'm going to keep doing these animal communications at least through the end of April. So if you have an animal friend that you think might like to share their wisdom with the world, go ahead and send me a message with a picture of your animal friend and let me know their name and age. So thanks so much for joining us here today. And until next time, take care and be well.